ॐ ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। जय गुरुदेव।
हरि ओम। जय गुरुदेव। ओम श्री परमात्मने नमः। एक निमिष। अथ नवमोऽध्यायः। राजविद्या राजगुह्ययोगः। श्रीभगवानुवाच इदं तु ते गुह्यतमं प्रवक्ष्याम्यनसूयवे ज्ञानं विज्ञानसहितं यज्ञात्वा मोक्ष्यसे शुभात्। राजविद्या राजगुह्यं पवित्रमिदमुत्तमं प्रत्यक्षावगमं धर्म्यं सुसुखं कर्तुमव्ययम्। अश्रद्धधाना पुरुषा धर्मस्यास्य परन्तप अप्राप्य मां निवर्तन्ते मृत्युसंसारवर्त्मनि। मया ततमिदं सर्वं जगदव्यक्तमूर्तिना मत्स्थानि सर्वभूतानि न चाहं तेष्वस्थितः न च मत्स्थानि भूतानि पश्य मे योगमैश्वरम्। भूतभृन्न च भूतस्थः ममात्मा भूतभावनः। यथाकाशस्थितो नित्यं वायु सर्वत्र गोमहान् तथा सर्वाणि भूतानि मत्स्थानीत्युपधारय। सर्वभूतानि कौन्तेय प्रकृतिं यान्ति मामिकां कल्पक्षये पुनस्तानि कल्पादौ विसृजाम्यहम्। प्रकृतिं स्वामवष्टभ्य विसृजामि पुनः पुनः भूतग्राममिमं कृत्स्नम् अवशं प्रकृतेर्वशात्। न च मां तानि कर्माणि निबध्नन्ति धनञ्जय। उदासीनवदासीनम् असक्तं तेषु कर्मसु मयाध्यक्षेण प्रकृतिः सूयते सचराचरं हेतुनानेन कौन्तेय जगद्विपरिवर्तते। अवजानन्ति मां मूढाः मानुषीं तनुमाश्रितं परं भावमजानन्तः मम भूतमहेश्वरं। मोघाशामोघकर्माणः मोघज्ञानविचेतसः राक्षसीमासुरीं चैव प्रकृतिं मोहिनीं श्रिताः। महात्मानस्तु मां पार्थ दैवीं प्रकृतिमाश्रिताः भजन्त्यनन्यमनसः ज्ञात्वा भूतादिमव्ययम्। सततं कीर्तयन्तो मां यतन्तश्च दृढव्रताः नमस्यन्तश्च मां भक्त्या नित्ययुक्ता उपासते। ज्ञानयज्ञेन चाप्यन्ये यजन्तो मामुपासते। एकत्वेन पृथक्त्वेन बहुधा विश्वतो मुखम्। अहं क्रतुरहं यज्ञः स्वदाहम् अहमौषधं मन्त्रोऽहमहमेवाजम् अहम् अग्निरहं हुतं पिताहमस्य जगतो माता धाता पितामहः वेद्यं पवित्रमोङ्कार ऋक्सामयजुरेव च गतिर्भर्ता प्रभु साक्षी निवासः शरणं सुहृत् प्रभवः प्रलयस्थानं निधानं बीजमव्ययम् तपाम्यहमहं वर्षं निगृह्णाम्योत्सृजामि च अमृतं चैव मृत्युश्च सदसच्चाहमर्जुन। त्रैविद्या मां सोमपापूतपापाः यज्ञैरिष्ट्वा त्रैविद्या मां सोमपाः पूतपापाः यज्ञैरिष्ट्वा स्वर्गतिं प्रार्थयन्ते ते पुण्यमासाद्य सुरेन्द्रलोकम् अश्नन्ति दिव्यान् दिवि देवभोगान् ते तं भुक्त्वा स्वर्गलोकं विशालं क्षिणे पुण्ये मर्तलोकं विशन्ति एवं त्रयी धर्ममनुप्रपन्नाः गतागतं कामकामा लभन्ते। I hope you all are able to see the screen. So we were looking at the bhakti aspect. I will just read the shloka, 14th shloka. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dridhavrataha namasyantascha mam bhaktya nityayukta upasate. Those who are always appreciating me and making the necessary efforts, whose commitment is firm and who remain surrendered to me with devotion, who are always united to me with a prayerful heart, seek me. Satatam kirtayantah mam. The efforts are required. Only Shravana and Manana are not enough. You have to be Yatantaha. Satatam, continuous efforts are required for Indriyam, Indriyopasamhara, Shama, Dama, Daya, Ahimsadi Lakshanaihi, Dharmaihi, Prayatnataha. And compassion, for Mahatma it is natural, but for Mumukshu, it has to be with cultivated. And we had seen amanitva, adambhitva, arjava. They are necessary to get the adhikaritva. They are dridavrataha. Their commitment is firm. Dridavratas here are the people who are committed to moksha and there is no changing the goal. They are purushartha nishchaya and the entire pursuit is going to be determined by how clear you are about what you are seeking. If the human end is very clear to you, you have a direction. The knowledge and everything else involved becomes something that you love only when this Purushartha Nishchaya is there. If the understanding of moksha is hazy, there will be a lot of problems. That is why the Purushartha Nishchaya is mentioned as one of the values for Jnana. Since he has said Adhyatma Jnana, knowledge for which the subject matter is Atma. You can conclude that understanding the Atma as a sinner or as anything else for that matter is Adhyatma Jnana. To avoid that, Tattva Jnana Artha Darshana is a very important value. This is the clear understanding that knowledge of myself is liberation. It also includes the understanding that nothing else is required. With the help of the Shruti and through my own vichara, in keeping with the Shruti, I realize that any pursuit is going to be limited. This is anityatva nishchaya, which results in a certain dispassion, vairagya, and the understanding that self-knowledge is the only way out. That kind of understanding of the Purushartha makes them Dridhavratas. They give up everything because they are free from the three types of desires for progeny, security, and a better situation in the hereafter. They live a life of a mendicant. Kshamyatam. They live a life of a mendicant only for Atmajnana, for moksha. They are called Dridha Vratas. Grace is needed. In all this, the grace of Ishvara is very important. Therefore, Lord Krishna says here, Mam Bhaktya Namasyantaha. These are the people who have surrendered to me with devotion. The whole pursuit is done only in an atmosphere of devotion. In such an atmosphere, you cannot claim credit for any achievement because you recognize so many limitations. Namasyantaha are those who surrender, who have a prayerful heart in their pursuit. People surrender to different things. Some surrender to money, converting it to Ishvara in the form of Lakshmi or Kubera. They surrender to varieties of things according to their ends they seek, their own likes and dislikes, and their vichara. It is all dependent upon their level of maturity. But here Shankara says that they surrender to the self, the Atma, the one who is the Lord, Isha of the intellect. They surrender to that Atma alone because they have placed all they have at the altar of Paramatma. That is the thing to be understood. Or we can take it that they have surrendered to the Lord who is the creator, sustainer, and destroyer of the entire world, invoking his grace. Ishvara's grace is here, as is your own grace and the grace of the Shastra and the Guru. Pursuing Ishvara in an atmosphere of bhakti is very important. That is why it is not an academic pursuit, nor is it a purely religious pursuit because there is so much vichara, inquiry involved. You are inquiring into the words and their meanings. So it implies grammar, logic, and so on. It looks very academic, but the whole pursuit is value oriented. It is a pursuit in an atmosphere of surrender, bhakti. That is why you cannot separate religion from this pursuit, even though it is not a set of beliefs, but something that has to be understood. Then too, Ishvara's grace is necessary here. So Bhagavan says that these people surrender to me with devotion and seek me with a prayerful heart. Namasyantah cha mam bhaktya upasate. To recognize Ishvara as Karma Phaladata, the giver of the fruits of action, and Karma Adhyaksha, the one who presides over all karmas, is Bhakti. Kshamyadam. Uh, to recognize Ishvara as Karma Phaladata, the giver of the fruits of action, and Karma Adhyaksha, the one who presides over all karmas, is Bhakti. Any possibility of action is because of Ishvara. So at both levels, that is at level of doing the karma and at the level of receiving the results, you have an appreciation of Ishvara. This is very important paragraph. I read once again. To recognize Ishvara as Karma Phaladata, the giver of the fruits of action, and Karma Adhyaksha, the one who presides over all karmas, is Bhakti. Any possibility of action is because of Ishvara. So at both levels, that is at level of doing the karma and at the level of receiving the results, you have an appreciation of Ishvara. Only abiding devotion is adequate. This bhakti is abiding for those who are bhaktya nitya yuktaah, those who are always connected to me with their abiding devotion by Dehali Deepa Nyaya. That is, Dehali Deepa Nyaya is the analogy of a lamp placed on the threshold. It casts its light both inside and outside of the house. Similarly, here the words Mam Bhaktya goes with both the words. Dehali Deepa Nyaya is the analogy of a lamp placed on the threshold. It casts its light both inside and outside of the house. Similarly, here the words Mam Bhaktya goes with both the words. I repeat once again, only abiding devotion.
Jai Gurudev Vela, we are not able to see the PDF.
Oh, that's what even for me it also it disappeared. Now it came. Just a minute, huh? I don't know what is happening with my.
Jai, Jai Gurudev. This is Madhuri.
Yes, Madhuri ji. When I'm checking the screen, I'm not able to see or mute myself or unmute myself. Yeah, please tell me.
This is that Dehli Deepak principle. It is not Dehali. Dehli means in between the two rooms. If there is this thing, no, if you keep a lamp, it can light both the sides. Like that Dehli बोलते हैं उसको. Dehali नहीं, Dehli. Dehli Deepak.
Astu, धन्यवादः.
Jai Gurudev.
Can you see the screen? Because
Yeah,
I'm
now
not.
it's fine. Now it's fine.
Yeah, I just have to change the screen because I cannot see the screen. Just give me 2 minutes. I read once again. And are you able to see, right? Okay. Only abiding devotion is adequate. This bhakti is abiding for those who are bhaktya nitya yuktaha. Those who are always connected to me with their abiding devotion by Dehali Deepa Nyaya. As Madhuri ji beautifully said, Dehali, it is the in between place, outside, not outside the house, not inside the house, where we keep where we light the lamp. Dehali Deepa Nyaya is the analogy of a lamp placed on the threshold. It casts its light both inside and outside of the house. Similarly, here the words Mam Bhaktya goes with both the words. The words Mam Bhaktya can be connected to both Namasyantaha and Nitya Yuktaha. Thus, the word, this is very, very beautiful. I read once again. Only abiding devotion is adequate. This bhakti is abiding for those who are bhaktya nitya yuktaha. Those who are always connected to me with their abiding devotion by Dehli. I'm sorry, I'm again pronouncing it wrong. Dehli means that Umrah. Dehli Deepa Nyaya. Kshamyatam if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Dehali Deepa Nyaya. The words Mam Bhaktya can be connected to both Namasyantaha and Nitya Yuktaha. Thus, the Lord says that these people are always committed to me with devotion, with devotion. Being so, they meditate upon me. This is said to point out that only a bhakti which is lasting is adequate. Bhakti can be sporadic like the smashana vairagya. Bhakti can be sporadic or sporadic. Please forgive me if my pronunciation is not correct. Bhakti can be sporadic like the smashana vairagya. When somebody dies and the bereaved goes to the cremation ground, smashana, he develops a vairagya towards his pursuits in life. He realizes that all that he had worked so hard for, he cannot carry with him, and begins to wonder as to what the real meaning of life is. He becomes a great seeker until he goes home and sees the Wall Street Journal. All his vairagya disappears. Now, immediately, he begins to think about how to increase his wealth. It was just a temporary vairagya. Such a quest for the real purpose of one's life occurs in everybody's head, but it is not pursued. Similarly, one can have a flame of devotion, but it can get extinguished because of inadequate understanding. This is very, very beautiful. I will read once again. Bhakti can be sporadic, like the smashana vairagya. When somebody dies and the bereaved goes to the cremation ground, smashana, he develops a vairagya towards his pursuits in life. He realizes that all that he had worked so hard for, he cannot carry with him, and begins to wonder as to what the real meaning of life is. He becomes a great seeker until he goes home and sees the Wall Street Journal. All his vairagya disappears. Now, immediately, he begins to think about how to increase his wealth. It was just a temporary vairagya. Such a quest for the real purpose of one's life occurs in everybody's head, but it is not pursued. Similarly, one can have a flame of devotion, but it can get extinguished because of inadequate understanding. This prayerful attitude mentioned here is born of understanding. If the understanding is vague, the devotion is subject to waning and waxing. That is why the Lord says, Bhaktya Nitya Yuktaha, those who are endowed with a lasting devotion. Their devotion is for the sake of gaining the knowledge of Ishvara. Previously, it was said that there are four types of devotees: the one in distress, the one who wants to achieve something, and the third one, the Jignashu. It is the Jignashu who is being talked about here. These mumukshus, jignashus, who are nitya yuktas, want to know the truth of Ishvara, because the Shastra says that Ishvara is everything. So we had seen in previous chapters the Apatkala sannyasi, the one who in distress takes sannyasa. It is not out of his own interest or his own. Then someone who wants to achieve something. I forgot its name. If anyone remembered, kindly unmute and say. The third one is the Jignashu. So the third one is
Artharthi Jignasu.
Artharthi. Dhanyavad, Dr. Mara.
Yes.
आप आपत संन्यास काल आपत संन्यासी अर्थार्थी and jignashu. Artharthi is the one who wants to achieve something, and that's why he is doing the karma. And the third one is the jignashu, who already has understanding, commitment, and that unconditional faith, and that is why he has that devotion, and that is why he is Nitya Yukta and Namasyantah even. Namasyantah. He surrenders to the Lord. Nitya Yuktah and Namasyantah. Anyone wants me to repeat any paragraph? Do let me know. So the mumukshus or jignashus, they only can become Nitya Yuktas and Namasyantaha, whose life is always prayerful life with the prayerful attitude. Their actions are also done as an offering to the Lord, and whatever fruits of those actions they receive, they accept it as a prasada from the Lord. Thus, the Lord says, they worship me, they seek me. How? He describes in the next verse. ज्ञानयज्ञेन चाप्यन्ये यजन्तो मामुपासते एकत्वेन पृथक्त्वेन बहुधा विश्वतो मुखम् अन्ये च अपि, and there are others too. Jnana yagnena, with the ritual of knowledge. Yajantaha, worshipping. Mam, me, Vishwato Mukham, who is many faceted. Ekatvena, as one. Pruthatvena, and as distinct. Bahuda, in many ways. Upasate, they worship. अन्ये च अपि ज्ञानयज्ञेन यजन्तः मां विश्वतो मुखम् एकत्वेन पृथक्त्वेन बहुधा upasate. In many ways, as one and as distinct, they worship me as the one who is many faceted. I repeat, in many ways, as one and as distinct, they worship me as the one who is many faceted. For others, knowledge is the only ritual. Anye, others, they are other than those who are moghashah, mogha karmanah. They are of a spiritual disposition, Daivim Prakritim Ashritaha, and of noble heart, Mahatmanah. I repeat once again, for others, knowledge is the only ritual. Anye, others, they are other than those who are Moghashah, Karmanah. They are of a spiritual disposition, Daivim Prakritim Ashritaha, and of noble heart, Mahatmanah. And these people worship me through the ritual of knowledge. Jnana yagnena yajantaha mam upasate. Jnana yagnena yajantaha mam upasate. Knowledge alone is the ritual for these people. And the object of this knowledge is Bhagavan. A sannyasi does not perform rituals. When he renounces all his connections to the society, he also renounces rituals like Agnihotra and so on, which are prescribed for the Vedic society. He has some other karmas, but they are purely contemplative like a japa, revealing the nature of Atma. The yajna done by a sannyasi who has given up all rituals is purely for the pursuit of jnana. Just because he does not perform rituals, do not think he is not a bhakta. He worships me by invoking me in the form of the pursuit of knowledge. His yajna is nothing but jnana. Mam Vishwato Mukham Upasate means they worship me of many faces. I am the cause of everything, both the maker and the material, Nimitta and Upadana. Therefore, I am also the product. I am the five elements, Panchabhutas and their products, Pancha Bhautikas. I am everything you see, the clouds, the sun, the moon, and all the devatas like Indra, Varuna, and Brihaspati. Bhagwan will elaborate on all these later, but he has already pointed out everything has its being in me, yet I am free from all these beings. Look at my glory, Ishvara's glory. Matsthani sarvabhutani nacha aham teshu avasthitaha nacha matsthani bhutani pashyame yogamaishwaram. That we already saw in the previous verse, right? I think in the 10th or 12th verse. This is how Ishvara is Vishwato Mukha. Upasate means they seek me through Shravana, Manana and Nididhyasana. Very beautiful paragraph. I repeat. Mam Vishwato Mukham Upasate means they worship me of many faces. I am the cause of everything, both the maker and the material, Nimitta and Upadana. Therefore, I am also the product. I am the five elements, Panchabhutas and their products, Panchabhautikas. I am everything you see. The clouds, the sun, the moon, and all the devatas like Indra, Varuna, and Brihaspati. Please try to recall the Chamakkam here. Rudrabhishek. Bhagwan will elaborate on all these later. But he has already pointed out everything has its being in me. Yet I am free from all these beings. Look at my glory, Ishvara's glory. Matsthani sarvabhutani nacha aham teshu avasthitaha nacha matsthani bhutani pashya me yogamaishwaram. This is how Ishvara is Vishwato Mukha. Upasate means they seek me through Shravana, Manana and Nididhyasana. How do they seek me? Ekatvena Prithatvena. Ekatvena as the one who is in the form of everything, and also Prithatvena as one who is distinct from everything. When the Lord says, all beings have their being in me, Matsthani Sarva Bhutani, there is a distinction drawn between the self and not self. Atma, Anatma, Bheda. So too, when it is said, all this is only Brahman, Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. And then all this is to be envisioned as the Lord. Ishavasyam idam sarvam. Here there is the creation, Jagat, and at the same time there is the Vastu, which they recognize distinctly. When one contemplates in this manner, it is said, Prithakttvena upasate. I think it is as an analysis and synthesis. I repeat, this is very, very beautiful paragraph. How do they seek me? Ekatvena, Prithakttvena. Ekatvena as the one who is in the form of everything. And also Prithakttvena as one who is distinct from everything. When the Lord says, all beings have their being in me, Matsthani Sarvabhutani, there is a distinction drawn between the self and not self, Atma, Anatma, Veda. So too, when it is said, all this is only Brahman, Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma, and then all this is to be envisioned as the Lord Ishavasyam Idam Sarvam. Here there is the creation, Jagat, and at the same time there is the Vastu, which they recognize distinctly. When one contemplates in this manner, it is said, Prithakttvena upasate. So, the Vivartan Upadana Karana and Parinami Upadana Karana, both are him only. And yet, he is separate from that creation. Now, look at this with reference to yourself. You are free from all thoughts, from memory, from a piece of knowledge, from any particular thought form. But no thought is free from you. That means you understand a thought as a name and form, nama rupa, non-separate from the vastu. The nama rupa is exactly what we call creation shrishti. I am distinct, prithak from nama rupa, but nama rupa is not distinct from me, is not independent of me. B is A is not B. Therefore, a given nama rupa is not Atma. One has to understand Satya and Mithya properly. Only then is the understanding complete. Therefore, they worship me both Ekatvena and Prithakttvena as everything and as one distinct from everything. I think this is the sar of the whole chapter. I just read once again this paragraph. Now look at this with reference to yourself. You are free from all thoughts, from memory, from a piece of knowledge, from any particular thought form. But no thought is free from you. That means you understand a thought as a name and form, nama, rupa, non-separate from the vastu. The nama rupa is exactly what we call creation shrishti. I am distinct, prithak from nama rupa, but Nama Rupa is not distinct from me, is not independent of me. B is A is not B. Therefore, a given Nama Rupa is not Atma. One has to understand Satya and Mithya properly. Only then is the understanding complete. Therefore, they worship me both Ekatvena and Prithatvena as everything and as one distinct from everything. It is said that they worship Ishvara as one who is present in various forms, Vishwatomukha. What are those forms? In one sentence, you can say, I am everything. Everything is born of me, sustained by me, and goes back into me. That is indeed Brahman. Or you can say it severely, severe, severely. I hope severely. I am the sun, I am the moon, I am space, I am time, I am the cause, I am the effect. You can repeat the entire dictionary or you can name a few things in order to understand. To simply say, I am everything can be dangerous in that it can be understood in a very shallow manner. So, we sometimes go into the details. Not everything has to be mentioned, but sufficient details are necessary to understand Sarvatmatva properly. That is why we have this five elemental Panchabhautika model. Still, a few details are given in this and in the next chapter. Uh, if you want me to repeat any paragraph, do let me know, and I will request to take over in another 5-10 minutes. I can continue for another 5-10 minutes. Please help me. I can continue sharing the screen if someone can read. अहं क्रतुरहं यज्ञः स्वधाहमहम् औषधम् मन्त्रोऽहमहमेवाजम् अहम् अग्निरहं हुतम् अहं क्रतुः I am the ritual. Aham yagyah. I am the worship. Aham swadha. I am the food that is offered. Aham aushadam. I am food in general. Aham mantraha. I am the chants. Aham eva ajyam. I alone am the ghee. Aham agnihi. I am the ritual fire. Aham hutam. I am the oblation. Aham kratuhu. Aham yajnaha. Aham swadha. Aham aushadam. Aham mantraha. Aham eva ajyam. Aham agnihi. Aham hutam. This verse is so meditative. अहं क्रतुरहं यज्ञः स्वदाहमहमौषधं मन्त्रोऽहमहमेवाजम् अहम् अग्निरहं हुतम्. I am the ritual, I am the worship, I am the food that is offered, I am food in general, I am the chants, I alone am the ghee, I am the ritual fire, I am the oblation. I repeat, I am the
Can you
ritual.
can you please chant one more time that words?
Yes, Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. It is very beautiful. Aham kraturaham yajnah swadhaham aham aushadham mantroham ahamevajam aham agnir aham hutam. I am the ritual, I am the worship, I am the food that is offered, I am food in general, I am the chants, I alone am the ghee, I am the ritual fire, I am the oblation. How Bhagwan is everything involved in karma. Can someone take over, please? Dr. Mara or someone can help me?
Okay, I can read, but you're going to have the
I will
page open?
I can continue for another 5-10 minutes sharing the screen.
Okay.
I will be
Okay, no
leaving
problem.
for long Kriya.
Okay,
So
no problem. Yeah, I'll do word for another 5 minutes. How Bhagavan is everything involved in karma. In this verse, Bhagavan reveals that he is every aspect of the ritual. Since a Vedic ritual is the most exalted karma, by saying he is that ritual, he is naturally every other kind of karma and anything associated with it. So I'll start again from how Bhagavan is everything involved in karma. In this verse, Bhagavan reveals that he is every aspect of the ritual. Since a Vedic ritual is the most exalted karma, by saying he is that ritual, he is naturally every other kind of karma and anything associated with it. When you invoke Ishvara as a particular devata, like Indra or Varuna, you first light a fire and into it you offer certain oblations, which are to go to the devata. This is called a yajna. In a yajna, you invoke Ishvara alone because every part of the karma is non-separate from Ishvara. The fire is Ishvara, the ritual is Ishvara, the offering is Ishvara, the one who performs it is Ishvara, and what you accomplished by that ritual is also Ishvara. That is a jnana yajna. As we saw in the 4th chapter, when it was said, Brahmarpanam, Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihi, Brahmagna, Brahmana Hutam. The language is ritualistic, but the vision is jnana. The arpana, that by which you offer an oblation, the ladle, etc., is Brahman. What is offered, the ghee, havis, is also Brahman. Where it is offered, the fire, Agni, is Brahman. By whom it is offered, the Karta also is Brahman. When you know that Brahman is a Karta, there is no Karta, then the result that is accomplished by this kind of yajna, that is jnana, is also Brahman. And the one who accomplishes it, sees Brahman in all situations. By understanding that Ishvara is everything, all karmas become Ishvara. This is what is meant when we say, whatever I do, it is all offered to you, O Lord. Yat yat karma karomi, tat tat ahilam sambho tava aradhanam. That can be an attitude or a vision. If it is an attitude, it is bhakti. If it is a vision, that is jnana. The discovery that everything is Ishvara. Here, Bhagavan points out that no ritual is free from himself. It's very nice. And I'll go further. The Lord says, Aham kratuku aham yajnaha. Both kratu and yajna mean ritual. So we have to make a distinction here between the two. Yajna is a word you can use loosely. Anything, even eating, is a yajna. But kratu is always shrat, shrata, shrauta or Vaidika karma. Shratav or Vaidika karma enjoined by known through the Veda. Lord Krishna says, Aham kratuhu, I am the very Vaidika ritual, and therefore by doing the Vaidika ritual, you are invoking me. But if you understand me, you have understood all Vaidika rituals, then you need not accomplish what can be accomplished by Vaidika rituals. Sorry. Okay. Then you need not accomplish what can be accomplished by the Vaidika rituals. That is the whole idea. Because the Lord says, I am the yajna, after saying I am the Kritu, Shankara says yajna here means smarta karma, like smarta karma. Here means yajna here means smarta karma and any puja or offering. This is a form of worship which is not enjoined by the Veda, but is sanctioned by the secondary books that support the Shruti called Smriti Granthas. Even the Gita is considered to be a Smriti Grantha. So are works written by informed and qualified people about things based upon the Shruti. From them, we have certain karmas which are not enjoined directly by the Shruti, but are based upon it. By mentioning both types of karmas, Bhagavan does not omit anything. All types of karmas are covered. I think I need to repeat this paragraph. The Lord says, Aham kratuku, aham yajnaha. Both kratu and yajna mean ritual. So we have to make a distinction here between the two, between the kratu and yajna.
Jai
Yeah.
Gurudev, 1 minute. Dr. Mara, I will share screen. I think Bela has to leave. So let me just share screen. One second.
Okay. So almost 1 minute left.
Yeah. So is this where you have to read?
Yeah, I'm reading that. We can, yeah. Anything, even eating, is a yajna, but kratu is always, you call it a shrata, shrata or Vaidika karma. You can go to next page now. Are you scrolling? Yeah, that one. Enjoined by or known through the Veda. Lord Krishna says, Aham kratuhu. I am the very Vaidika ritual, and therefore, by doing the Vaidika ritual, you are invoking me. But if you understand me, you have understood all Vaidika rituals. Then you need not accomplish what can be accomplished by the Vedic rituals. Let me repeat this line one more time. Lord Krishna says, Aham Krituhu. I am the very Vaidika ritual, and therefore, by doing the Vaidika ritual, you are invoking me. Okay. But if you understand me, You have understood all Vedic rituals. Then you need not accomplish what can be accomplished by the Vedic rituals. That is the whole idea. Because the Lord says, I am the Yajna, after saying, I am the Kritu. Shankara says, Yajna here means smarta karma, any puja or offering. Any puja or offering. This is a form of worship which is not enjoined by the Veda, but is sanctioned by the secondary books that support the Shruti, called Smriti Granthas. Even the Gita is considered to be Smriti Grantha. So are works written by informed and qualified people about things based upon the Shruti. From them, we have certain karmas which are not enjoined directly by the Shruti but are based upon it. By mentioning both types of karmas, Bhagavan does not omit anything. All types of karmas are covered. So he said about Vaidika karma. What is the other karma?
Smartha karma and Vaidika karma.
Yeah, okay. Smartha karma, right. Okay. Aham Swada. Shall I continue? Because it's 8 o'clock already, right? Yeah. Let me see.
Let me just see how much it is. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
it's
a
about
little bit. I can
little
continue,
bit.
Dr. Mara, if you
No,
are.
no, it's okay. I can
You
read
can
this part
yeah,
and then you
yeah.
finish the
Go ahead. Yeah,
chapter
go ahead.
6.
Yes.
Aham Swada. I am the food offered to the Pitars, the ancestors, during a ritual to propitiate the Pitars. The food is offered to the Brahmanas and crows after invoking the Pitars in them. And that food is called Swada. Swada. And the Lord says that He is that Swada. Aham Aushadam. I am the food eaten by everybody. Oshadi is plants, trees, and creepers. Aushada is what is born of Oshadi. Oh. So food is only vegetarian. Shankara says rice, maize, oats, etc. are all Aushada. Aushada is can also mean medicine because medicines are mainly herbal. But here the word should only mean food, which is an important part of any ritual. Then he says, Mantroham. I am the mantras that are chanted when offerings are made to the mains and all deities. And I am the Ajya, the ghee, one of the important oblations that is offered into the fire. Where it is offered, the fire is also myself. Aham Agnihi. Then he says, Aham Hutam. I am the very ritual itself, where this oblation is offered to the various devatas. That very action is me. Here in Vedanta, there is only one thing you should know. Where karmas are being dealt with, you have a number of things to do. You will never be able to complete them. And there will always be problems because in karma, there is invariably some omission or something done wrongly. Then the result that you wanted is quite different from the one you get. Any karma is like that. You rarely accomplish that, you rarely accomplish what you want. But if you know the Vastu, which is one, you resolve everything. That is why it is called Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam. In the knowledge of this one thing, everything else is included. This one thing an intelligent man would seek. Bhagavan tells further how he is Vishwat Vishwato Mukha by pointing out a few more things. Very nice. You know this when we do karma, like where you omit something done wrongly, which is all. That's why they do in the temple, like called Pavitrodsavam. If you did something to to make it right. I don't know how many mistakes we making every day. Very nice.
That's why it is said, seek the highest. Don't
Mm,
be, don't seek XYZ. When you seek the highest, that's it. That dissolves everything else. Everything else follows,
mhm.
comes in its fold.
Right. But as we're doing this karmas, right? Let's say we have
Karma
to
is
do it.
born of ignorance. No, when we learned that karma is,
It's
that is why
it's
any
true.
action you
Yeah.
do has
Yeah.
some imperfection in it. You
Yeah.
can find some fault in that, but the intention is important. The intention is pure. Then the action may not
Right.
be perfect all the time. Similarly, karma
Mm,
there can be some omission, commission going on. But
right.
then when you follow, when you are going after the vastu, the satya vastu,
Mm,
which is the root cause of everything.
yeah. I started volunteering at the temple here, Siva Vishnu Temple in Livermore, which is quite a distance for last since May. I worked as a volunteer physician in the health clinic, as well as I do the flower on Fridays. We make flowers for the garland, you know, because I'm the starting, like I just started. So all these ladies, they treat you like you're a junior most, right? I mean, you didn't even go through the such thing in med school. Like you're only cutting person, you're only this person, that person, right? So anyway, I didn't mind that. My goal was, like as you said, we are seeking that higher person, right? Like doesn't bother me, but then you can see variety of people how this sometimes like all of us go through this. Oh, this happened, but then I kind of brush away. Okay, this is what I want to do, what I want to do, like that. Anyway, so I just wanted to tell you, like we are doing one day in Tirumala, that function on July 22nd. So coordinating for that, getting people to come.
Very good. I think should we stop here and we'll just share our takeaways.
Yeah.
I will just close our eyes for a minute. I'll just chant the verses that we covered today. ज्ञानयज्ञेन चाप्यन्ये यजन्तो मामुपासते एकत्वेन पृथक्त्वेन बहुधा विश्वतो मुखम् अहं क्रतुरहं यज्ञः स्वधाहमहमौषधम् मन्त्रोऽहमहमेवाज्यम् अहमग्निरहं हुतम् I'm the ritual, I'm the worship, I'm the food that is offered, I am food in general, I am the chants, I alone am the ghee, I am the ritual fire, I am the oblation.
Mhm. It was nice, like how he says that there's two karmas that we're talking about, right? Like Vedic ritual, That place, I thought I didn't understand it clearly, but then I read it a couple of times. Um, I am the Vedic ritual, and by doing Vedic ritual, you are invoking me. So he himself, that ritual, like I am the ritual, where he mentioned that, right? And then if you understand me, then you understood all Vedic rituals. So you don't need to, you need not accomplish what can be accomplished by Vedic rituals. If you understood me itself, it's enough. Is that what that was meant there?
Yeah, that is what is meant.
Not having to do that ritual itself.
Mm,
If you clearly understand that he's the ritual, like
mm.
aham. So that was really nicely explained there, And then the smartha karma and vaitika karma. Smartha karma is any puja or offering, and this form of worship is not enjoyed by the Veda, but it is supported by the Shruti. So the Shruti based things are like the Smriti Granthas, Shruti based Granthas. So you follow that to do the certain karmas. So but then yeah, so he covers by saying those two things about what kind of karmas it's involved, and then talked about I am the food offered. No, I am the food offered to the Pithers, right? I'm the food that is offered. I'm the
Radha.
food in general. Yeah. That's how the Aushadam. Yeah, I also thought about Aushadam is a medicine. How did they say about food? There are like a two meaning that this it comes from the Oshadi, that the plants derived food is called Aushadam also. So like rice, grains, all the grains are called. And then on the mantraham, and then ajyaham, right? Ajyaham is the ghee, and the agnihi, fire, and the oblation, he himself. Like you mentioned, that fourth chapter, the Brahma Arpana, that also similar
Yeah.
one, right? Yeah.
Yes, it is the same. It's actually a similar, except
Yeah.
that the words are different. There,
Yeah.
everything is in terms of Brahma,
Brahma, right.
Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihi. But here,
Mm.
he's saying everything in first person, Aham, Aham.
Aham,
There it
right.
was in aspects of Brahma, but here he's uh, he's referring to himself. Himself again is, of course, he's
Mm.
Atma.
Yeah. Isn't that like when we read somewhere, he doesn't speak of as a first person in the first 6 chapters, or is it something like um I don't remember, like where somewhere we read that, like when he
I think
says
there is
in first person, he becomes the Brahman
correct.
kind of.
Whenever he talks of himself as Mam, it is
Mm.
not Krishna, the charioteer, or the one with the peacock feather. It is Brahma. It is Atma.
Brahma. Right, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
That's
Now I remember that.
So
Yeah.
when you look at this whole thing of the
Mm.
last two shlokas,
Mm-hmm.
when you consider, when you come from the point that he is the creator and
Mm-hmm.
he is the nimitta karana as well as the upadana
Upadana
karana, the
karma.
whole
Mm-hmm.
of Jagat. So
Mm-hmm.
everything that happens in the Jagat, every action, every thought,
Mm.
everything that even that little ripple is, I mean, he is pervaded by him.
Mm.
He's there.
Right.
So even as we speak, as I'm speaking, we are listening. That
Mm-hmm.
itself is also there in his reflection. It is in that he is the nimitta karana as well as the upadana karana.
Upadana karma. Right.
The
Yeah.
intelligent cause as well as the material cause. So
Mm.
there cannot be any karma which is apart from him.
Yeah, that is the very important point also. Yat 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 karma karomi tat tat
Karomi,
tam sambho
tat, yes. Tat tat
radhan.
Shambho Tavaradhanam.
Mm.
Then automatically that bhakti
Sambho.
comes in, no? And that
Right.
bhakti which lights up both your surrender, aspect of surrender, as well as your yatantaha, your efforts to gain this knowledge, seek this knowledge. Both as surrender as well as a seeker. That bhakti lights up both. Like that, what Deepa it's called? Deepa, I can't get that. Deepa.
Depali or Degali? Degali? You mean the Deepa?
Yeah, that Deepa.
Yeah,
I didn't.
Deepa is called Degali.
Dehali Deepa.
Dehali, I think. Yeah,
Mm.
Dehali. It's like Deha, Dehali. Deepa Nyaya. Lamp placed on the threshold. So you put it on the wall, maybe it will show on the both sides of the wall or the
Correct.
house.
Dehali Deepa Nyaya is the
Yeah.
analogy of a lamp placed on the threshold. It casts its light both inside and outside of the house. Yeah. So Mam Bhaktya goes with both.
Both the words. That I wasn't sure. Like, is it because of that Atma is the one as a light inside and outside of you? Is that what that means? I kind of missed that part when she was reading.
No, I think it is the bhakti there. Bhakti lights up both your nitya yuktaha, that is those who are forever connected with the Lord, plus an aspect of surrender. Is that namasyantaha nitya yukta? These are the two connections. See here, this bhakti, only abiding devotion is adequate. This bhakti is abiding for those who are bhaktya nitya yuktaha.
No, right. Yeah, I see that.
Those who are always connected to me with their abiding devotion. By Dehali Deepanyaya, the words Mam Bhaktya can be connected to both Namasyantaha and Nitya Yuktaha.
Oh, I see. Both the words. Okay.
And that bhakti that can be sporadic, you know, we say it's called Prasuti Vairagya. When a woman is on the labor table and she's delivering a baby, she says, that's it, no more. I'm not going to have any more babies. That is called Prasuti Vairagya. So it is sporadic. It is based on that moment. And then afterwards, again, within a year or year and a half, you'll see the same lady back in the room delivering another baby. So that bhakti, that is not the bhakti he's talking about. It is not sporadic. It is not because you're frustrated with something, you're miserable, and therefore you see, like how students, they become suddenly very devoted just before the exam.
That's true.
Till then, they don't even, think of God. But just before the exam, they start becoming suddenly devoted. They start breaking coconuts and doing this and that, going to the temple. So that is not what is bhakti. This is that prayerful attitude that you're actually consumed by, that love, that love of where it is there in and through whatever you're doing.
That's very nice.
And it's born out of understanding. It is not born out of your want or your to fulfill something. It is born out of your understanding. That prayerful attitude. That is very beautiful there. Yeah. So anybody else wants to share? And that is why it is called Rajavidya. This thing that was, I just want to read that one second. Where was that?
And it was there.
Listen,
very nice.
Yeah, any karma is going to be imperfect, isn't it? There will be omissions, commissions, and therefore the result also will be different from what you actually wanted. You rarely accomplish what you want, but if you know the Vastu, which is one, you resolve everything. That is why it is called Rajavidya Rajaguhyam. In the knowledge of this one thing, everything else is included. This one thing an intelligent man would seek. That's such a rich
The from
statement.
14, 15, 16.
Mm,
He says, they worship me, they seek me. That question was how. Then he said he is a multifaceted Visvatomukha.
yeah,
And then the last one is how he's everything,
right.
right?
Mm,
It's so, even though we've been doing all this puja and this and that, now I have questioned myself, am I doing everything correctly or not?
uh-huh,
In Chinmaya mission, like it does not, when you're turning on the YouTube, and something appears, right? That the global, they call it as global channel, and they have a lesson to do how to do puja. I hope I'm sure they follow the Sastra. Um, they have some course, beginner course and advanced course starting from August 12th to 1 or 2 weeks, and then the September they have another couple of weeks. Um, I wonder what that is like. Probably they try to teach people, not that we know everything, but it'd be nice to know what exactly they teach. Anyway, I
mm,
don't want to take more time. I want to
yeah.
go to the 6th chapter.
See,
Or
all that is only to inculcate bhakti, no? So once we're
right,
on this
right.
path,
Mm-hmm.
then the actual significance, not that we should belittle puja and all that, but
Yeah.
the the relevance of the puja,
Mm,
when you do it out of understanding, then it really doesn't matter. In one of the chapters, he says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam
mm,
Yome Bhaktya Prayachati.
right,
So it's not how elaborately you do it, it is with what intent you do. What is your feeling with which you're doing? What is that bhakti? That bhakti is important. Even
right.
you're offering a patram, even a leaf, phalam,
Mm-hmm.
or even
Right.
water if you're offering, but you offer
Mm,
bhakti.
exactly. Yeah.
That is the gist. No? That is important.
Yeah. Yeah, I know we read that in 4th chapter again, or
I think it's in the fourth chapter,
chapter.
fourth or
Yeah.
fifth.
Oh my God. So nice. I mean, the more and more we read it, it's so interesting. And
Mm,
we have to follow thoroughly. And
mm. So we'll go to chapter 6.
Mhm.
असंयतात्मना योगो दुष्प्राप इति मे मतिः वश्यात्मना तु यतता शक्यो वाप्तुमुपायतः. Yoga is difficult to gain for the one by whom the mind is not mastered. This is my vision, whereas it can be gained by the one whose mind is mastered, who makes effort with the proper means, that is, practice and objectivity. One who does not practice meditation, abhyasa, and who does not have objectivity, vairagya, is called asamyata atma in this verse, meaning that the mind is not brought under control. And can the mind be brought under control? Yes, Krishna says, but with difficulty. It is dushprapa. Furthermore, unless the mind is mastered, it is not possible to gain the yoga being discussed here. The capacity to see the sameness that exists in all beings and in which all beings exist. This warrants a repetition. Furthermore, unless the mind is mastered, it is not possible to gain the yoga being discussed here. That is, the capacity to see the sameness that exists in all beings and in which all beings exist. What Krishna says here is his vision, mati, which is not the same as an opinion, since it is not something that can be contented and dismissed. By the practice of abhyasa and vairagya, the mind is brought into one's own hands, which is why the person who can do this is also called Vashya Atma here. Such a person is always alert. Alertness is something that should always be with you, not something practiced for a period of time. For example, you cannot say that you practiced alertness for 6 years and it was very good. Just as you cannot say you practiced breathing for 6 years. It is not as though you give up breathing after having practiced it for some time. It is your very life. Alertness is the same. By such a person who continues to maintain this alertness, yatata, by the one who has a certain mastery over his mind, vashyatmana, it is possible to gain the vision of sameness, yoga avaptum shakyaha. So two important things. One is abhyasa and vairagya. When we do this, what do we get? We get a hold of, we have a say over the mind, mastery over the mind. And then with that comes the alertness. When you're practicing abhyasa and vairagya, what comes to you is alertness. And this alertness is not time bound. It is there. Just like how we breathe. So when a person continues to maintain this alertness, how can we maintain it? By continuing to do abhyasa and practicing vairagya. So this then, this vashyatmana then has the possibility to gain the vision of sameness, yogaha avaptum shakyaha. That samatvam darshana, samatva bhava then will happen. Not something to be done. Krishna mentions in this verse that this yoga is gained by a particular means, upayataha. And what is that means? Upaya, abhyasa and vairagya are the means for gaining this vision, as Krishna had already told Arjuna. Because abhyasa and vairagya are the means, Arjuna's gaining the yoga was no longer in Krishna's hands, because Krishna has already covered the subject matter. Now, this is something that has to be done. And it is up to Arjuna to do it. He has to pay attention to his mind. Krishna had said everything he could say. There was nothing more to be taught, only something to be done. Vairagya and abhyasa would take care of any problems, any obstructions to gaining the knowledge. This is why Krishna does not say very much about the doing of it. When there is something to be discussed, like the Vastu, Brahma, Atma, then one can talk indefinitely, which is what Krishna does, and which is why there are 18 chapters of the Gita. But here, there is something to be done now by Arjuna. Therefore, Krishna leaves it at that. You will find that Krishna talks a lot about Atma, about the wise person, about the vision. But when it comes to meditation, which is to be done, there are only a few verses because it is something to be done. Wherever there is something to be done, Krishna states it briefly and adequately and then continues on. Whereas wherever something is to be unfolded, he goes on and on because it is something that has to be understood, not something that has to be done. In the next verse, Arjuna presents another problem, which is purely an imagined problem. So this is so very good. So abhyasa and vairagya, this is what we should hold on to and practice and be at it so that we control, we have a mastery over our mind. And with that mind that is mastered, then you have the ability, you get that alertness, you're forever alert. And you will not let the mind come under the influence of people, situations, your own senses. And then that vision of sameness can unfold. Yeah, Jai Gurudev. We'll stop here today. Anyone wants to share before we close?
So the abhyasa part of it for that meditation, things like that you practice.
Yeah.
And then the vairagya is controlling the sense and purifying the mind.
Yeah, avoiding that Shobhana Dhyasa, basically. Vairagya is delinking objects, giving objects
That gives
only as
pleasure
much
and
value. Yeah. Remember that
security.
example of money with
Right.
you take
Yes.
money is money.
Yeah.
Don't superimpose anything else. No Shobhana Dhyasa. See,
Mm,
basically, any object either gives us pain or pleasure.
mm,
So with
right.
objects that give us pain, you practice abhyasa. You distance yourself, create that gap.
Mm.
Whereas for objects that give you pleasure, you exercise vairagya.
Vairagya. Right. Right.
Yeah,
That's a difference we
right.
know. Yeah.
Because that is what we are caught up. No raga, dveshas,
Pain
all.
and the pleasure. Okay. We have to remember that. Okay. Oh, got it.
Mm,
That's nice.
yeah, nice.
I kept thinking about that quiz thing, we mentioned.
Yeah, I
Now
think
I
we should
even
have it
forgot
one
some.
day. I'm,
Yeah. I think
I'm,
go ahead.
no, say that. Say, go ahead, Madhu.
No, as we are doing this class, in fact, I should keep a notebook and make a note of it, what we are saying. And then when I think about it again, oh, I thought this would be a good quiz question to remember.
Question. I
Yeah,
know. I think all
that's
of
how
us,
I,
if we can do that, then we will
yeah.
have a little question bank. And let me see, maybe there will be something on Google also. Google has so much to offer. So
Yeah.
probably we'll have some quiz on Bhagavad Gita. We'll just start that. Maybe one session we'll have, half an hour we'll have. It's going to be
Yeah.
nice. Be nice to
Even
recommend.
yeah, that Mastani, that sloka, we read it so many times, and that
Mm,
it comes. I can't remember where exactly we read that. It said fourth chapter, but I don't know. Exactly that Mastani Nachagam something. So I don't know the whole sloka, but
mm.
anyway, that was in the ninth chapter. We just read that.
Yeah, Matstani Sarva Bhutani Nachaham Teshvavastitaha.
Yeah, right. That's one.
Mm. We'll do this. We'll maybe
Mm,
set a date.
mm.
Maybe end of July we'll have. Today is what? Today is the 9th of July. So maybe we'll give some time, 2 weeks or 3 weeks. End of
Maybe
July,
in
maybe we
August, we'll go to August
August. Okay, done. Done.
because
August 1st we will have. Okay. We'll
right.
fix the date as August 1st is the quiz day.
Yeah.
Whatever day that is. Okay. I hope it's not a
So,
Sunday because Sunday we don't have very many people. If it's not
right.
a Sunday, we'll have it either Friday or Saturday. Let's go ahead. Actually, we should
Yeah.
have Nana also there. He should be there.
Oh, that will freak us out. Let's do it ourselves first, and then see we are
Ourselves.
doing
Okay,
well. Then
done.
we can count. No,
Done.
no.
Done. Done.
Thanks.
All
Yeah.
right. Jai Gurudev.
Yeah.
Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.